Even at the age of 10, Benjamin Kirby Tennyson had a lot of aliens. After getting the watch that changed his life, he used the watch to save lives, and you are going to see all these aliens now.
And they want us to be quiet about the gospel. But hey, this is what we gon' do.
What you gon' do when they try to dim my lights down? Word blazing my bones, I ain't coming to play around. Standing firm on that gospel, you can get it right now. We can go with it however you want. It can go.
Hello my brothers and sisters by God, this is your brother in Christ, Abstract Schnitzel, here with another video. Today we are going to look at every single Ben 10 alien by Ben. So here we go. When I first watched Ben 10, there was only one alien I could ever remember the name of. That alien was Forearms. Why? Because he has
1, 2, 3, 4 all together.
Forearms' main abilities are enhanced strength and durability. Because a lot of Ben's fights involve hand-to-hand combat, Forearms is Ben's go-to alien. He can lift several times his own weight and punch through things without difficulty. Forearms' enhanced strength allows him to use anything heavy as a weapon. His strength even extends to his jaws and bite. His legs are pretty strong too. He can jump several times his own height, at least 7 stories up, in a single bound. By clapping all of his hands together, Forearms can create strong shockwaves. Nevertheless, Forearms is a big dude, and sometimes that can be a problem. His extra muscle mass makes him relatively slower than other opponents, and his size makes it hard for him to fit in smaller places. It also makes him an easy target for enemy attacks. When Forearms has a cold, his strength and stamina are severely reduced, and he develops pungent hives in his armpits. When sick, he can sneeze out sprays of slimy snot from his mouth, but the snot can kill insects, so I guess you could say that his colds can be weaponized to an extent.
It's getting hot in here, so take off all your robes.
I'm getting so hot, I will take my robe off.
Heatblast, Ben's hottest alien, literally. Heatblast can generate and manipulate intense heat and fire from his body. He can form fire into any shape of his choice, but usually uses fireballs. He can enhance the fire in his hands to have flaming punches and can also breathe fire. He can even absorb heat and fire at the same time, so he can put a fire out even faster than he can start one. His fire is hot enough to melt a road, and that's not even Heatblast using all his strength. 40-year-old Heatblast was able to magnify the heat in his body so much that it flash vaporized the Fountain of Youth and destroyed a large portion of the cave he was in. If that's how hot 4-year-old Heatblast can get at his full potential, just imagine how hot 10-year-old Heatblast can get. That's hot. Just snapping his fingers is enough to spark a fire. He can make his flames explosive and also create a fireboard that he can ride by launching fire backwards like an engine. Since he's made of fire and charcoal, he's fireproof, heat resistant, and invulnerable to magma. His heat also makes him resistant to ice and cold temperatures. He's got some great durability too, as Vilgax once threw him through multiple buildings at high speed with no damage. And when Heatblast has a cold, his powers become inverted. Instead of generating hot fire that burns, he generates icy fire that freezes. Now obviously, since he's a fiery guy, water or other fire extinguishing substances can put him out, but he can quickly heat himself back up and reignite his flames. He'll burn anything he touches because he's made of flames though, so if you invite him over, don't let him sit down. Did you guys see the new Sonic movie? Well, Accelerate isn't a hedgehog, but he is an alien velociraptor. He can run so fast that one may not be able to see him running without enhanced slow motion replay. He has control over his speed, being able to run at high speeds without getting dizzy, and stop easily after running at high speeds. Not only does Accelerate run fast, but he does everything fast. He even recovers from injuries fast. His speed gives him highly sharp reflexes, allowing him to dodge attacks with little to no effort, and easily change direction while running. He's even able to create tornadoes by running in a circular pattern. He can additionally run on water and create water vortexes when doing so. His scissor-like claws are sharp enough to effectively cut through many materials effortlessly. Plus, Accelerate has enhanced strength and can cling to surfaces. However, Accelerate isn't able to run on ice due to the reduction of friction.
Diamond-headed guy?
Diamondhead is made of extremely thick organic crystals. He can manipulate the atomic structure of his physiology at will, allowing him to turn his limbs into crystal weapons like blades or bludgeons. He can also control the crystals he generates and make crystal constructs grow from his body. Additionally, he can fire crystals sequentially out of his hands. These powers alone make Diamondhead both a melee and ranged fighter.
But wait, there's more!
Diamondhead can make large clusters of crystals, conjuring balls and forming crystal shields and ramps. Being made of crystals, Diamondhead is extremely durable, can refract laser-like attacks, and is resistant to fire and heat. However, as durable as he is, Diamondhead's body can crack and shatter if impacted with enough force. The 2 shards on his back can also leave him stuck on surfaces that he gets knocked into, so he's gotta be careful about that. Do you like roly-polies? Cannonbolt is kind of like one. He can roll into a ball, encasing himself in highly durable plating. Arbori and Pelorota actually use their ball-rolling ability for defense, but Ben weaponized this ability. When rolled up, Cannonbolt can move at great speed, like a motorized wheel. He has chemicals on his exoplates that reduce friction and increase rotational momentum so Ben can hit enemies harder. He can ricochet and bounce off surfaces like a pinball in sphere form, without losing much or any momentum. Even though Ben has weaponized Cannonbolt's powers, he still uses his powers for defensive purposes to protect himself and others. But it smells pretty bad in there. His armor can deflect lasers too, even if he's not in ball form. Now, with strength comes weakness. He's big and strong, but his big body makes it hard for him to move around when he's not in his ball form. And even though his shell is resistant to extreme heat while re-entering Earth's atmosphere, Cannonbolt still suffers a mild amount of pain from the force of impact. Gray matter. Who said 4 inches was too small? Gray matter is an intellectual frog-like alien. He's a good problem solver and knows a lot about things that Ben wouldn't know anything about as a human. Also, gray matter can sometimes manipulate living things by stimulating certain parts of their nervous system, if such beings can be controlled by external stimuli. But gray matter's intelligence is not limited to technology and biology. He is smart in general, and can quickly learn something he doesn't know. Gray matter's size works well with his intelligence. Because he's so small, he can fit inside machines to alter them. Gray matter is also amphibious and has gills. He can additionally climb walls due to microscopic pads on his skin. His skin is slimy and his teeth are sharp, so gray matter is difficult to grab. Since gray matter is more brains than brawn, he has to come up with unique ways to battle enemies. Despite owning immense intelligence, gray matter doesn't know everything, so he can still make miscalculations. Sometimes gray matter himself doesn't even know what he's talking about. I guess even Galvans aren't perfect. Now you might want to think twice about harming the environment. You don't want this plant coming to get you. Wildvine. He can alter his body size at will, as well as grow and extend his arms, legs, and fingers into strong vine-like tentacles to grab and restrain others. His plant body also makes him quite flexible. Additionally, he can merge and camouflage with plant life and grow black pods on his back that he can use as explosives or smoke bombs. Wildvine is also able to grow thorns, and on top of that, he can't get hypnotized.
What do you want? What do you want, huh? You want some money? Take it. Oh!
Stinkfly is a big bug with 4 insectoid wings that allow him agile and quick flying, as well as directional change at an exceptional pace. He can also excrete high-pressured streams of liquid from the pollen ducts inside of his eye stalks and mouth. The liquids can be both flammable toxin or immobilizing adhesive with high viscosity. 4-year-old Stinkfly could emit a powerful herbicide through flatulation, so 10-year-old Stinkfly probably can as well. Stinkfly also has a sharp tail with a stinger-like end that can tear through steel almost effortlessly. He also has a decently strong exoskeletal body and has great strength in proportion to his body. In addition to that, he has 360-degree vision, since he can move his eyes around. In spite of these cool powers, Stinkfly does have some deficiency. For starters, his wings are fragile and can't fly when wet, and he also can't swim because of the small surface area of his limbs. Even though he's strong, he can't carry heavy things for a long period of time. He also smells bad, which can be a problem if he's trying to hide. Here comes my personal favorite alien, Upgrade. What's not to admire about him? He's got a sick design and cool powers. Speaking of powers, he can be both liquid and gelatinous since the nanites in his body allow him to reshape. This also makes him extremely flexible. Since Upgrade is a living metal, he can regenerate himself, travel through electrical currents, phase through most technology, and survive in the vacuum of space. He also possesses enhanced strength and a powerful optic blast that he can fire. But here's his coolest power. He can use his internal nanotechnology to merge with and control technology by encasing himself over it, no matter how big or small the item is. As he does this, he upgrades the technology, making it more advanced and futuristic, causing new features to form. Upgrade can also make his face appear anywhere on the object he possesses. However, the object returns to normal after he unmerges with it. His technological possession can work on non-electrical machinery as well. He can reconfigure technology to suit for any situation, and can transform the tech with no apparent limit. Upgrade can even merge with organic beings if they have machinery integrated within them. When merged with machinery, he can form energy constructs and repair damaged machinery with ease and come out unscathed. However, since he's made of metal, he is weak against electricity and can be affected by technological viruses, and is weak against acid. He can also be hurt if stretched hard enough. He's a guy. He's got eyes. And he won't lie about beating bad guys. Eye Guy. He's somewhat strong and acrobatic and has good hearing because of those giant ears. He can shoot energy beams out of each eye. He can also merge his eyes to have more powerful blasts or create other types of beams, like a freeze ray beam. And that big eye on his chest can shoot some pretty powerful blasts, but when he merges all of his eyes with the big eye on his chest eye stretches out and can shoot a powerful optic blast. Ripjaws. He can breathe underwater and swim at high speeds with amazing agility. He has great endurance and can withstand strong water pressure, meaning he has the nature abyssal aquatic life, having blink eyes and an anglerfish light on his forehead. He can turn his legs into a fish's tail and vice versa, so he can walk on land and swim in water. However, he can't walk on land for too long because he'll dehydrate without water, and heat will only exacerbate the dehydration. Ripjaws also has enhanced strength and sharp claws, but his most impressive power resides in his mouth. He can fit many things into his large mouth, and he has razor-sharp teeth that can rip through hard substances, even metal. Ghostfreak. Think of any powers a ghost would have, plus more. That's basically what Ghostfreak can do. He can fly, levitate, phase through solid matter, get intangible, become invisible, and possess bodies. He can also make other objects or individuals intangible and transparent through physical contact. Under his protective skin, he has tentacles that he can use to scare his enemies and grow sharp thorns on the tentacles to use them as lethal weapons. He also possesses a movable eye. Ghostfreak also has sharp claws that can be used to attack, but if these claws are stuck into a person's head, the person will either feel pain or be knocked unconscious. Moving right through people as Ghostfreak is enough to make them feel deathly cold. He can alter his shape and deform like gas by making himself into a gray, somewhat transparent smoke-like wispy form. Since the scare can survive in the vacuum of space and turn his skull around, so can Ghostfreak. Certain substances can neutralize Ghostfreak's intangibility and invisibility. Ghostfreak will also become vulnerable if he removes his protective skin, but darkness will strengthen his abilities if his protective skin is off. Although he can fly, he isn't fast, so he needs to rely on his invisibility and intangibility to evade enemy attacks, and conscious thought is required to activate this intangibility. Way Big is a big dude, like really big. He'll make you look like a bug. He threw Vilgax away into space and never saw him again for 5 years. Maybe you should do that every time he fights Vilgax. But even for his size, he's strong and durable. And he can also do sumo wrestling?
Who let the dogs out?
20 years later and we still don't know. I know who did it. Alright. I also know where you live. Okay then, that's a little weird. Hey, how come you got a B in math? Alright, Wildmutt, go get him.
Somebody call a doctor!
Wildmutt. Wildmutt has a great sense of smell. He has no eyes. His vision is made up of a dull 3D mapping of where his senses originate, kind of like a thermograph. Combined with his enhanced hearing, his senses take the form of a radar or sonar, allowing him to still perceive his environment more clearly. He also has enhanced speed and reaction time, so he can dodge and counterattack efficiently with the help of his senses. But this doggy is kinda strong. His agility allows him to run, jump, and climb at an inhuman rate. He's also quite durable for a dog. Although he's a quadruped, Wildmutt's feet are also prehensile, and he has razor-sharp teeth and claws. Wildmutt also has quills on his back that supplement his sonar, but the quills can also be used as weapons, either by protecting him while rolling or being fired off at will. Nonetheless, since Wildmutt is basically an alien dog, he behaves like one too. He can't talk in human languages. He just barks and snarls. This makes it hard to understand him. His senses are also really sensitive, so he's vulnerable to anything that can overwhelm them. His lack of eyes makes him completely dependent on his other senses, but sometimes he can't use his other senses, like when he has a cold. When infected with a cold, Wildmutt's nostrils get blocked by mucus, causing him to lose his abilities to smell or hear. You might want to wear your masks around this mutt, for his own sake. Upchuck. He's got long and strong tongues that can grab things with ease and reel them into his stretchy mouth for him to chew with his strong teeth and swallow. Then BAM! He vomits out explosive balls of liquid. Who would have thought puking could be a power? Not only is his mouth stretchy, but so is the rest of his body, including his stomach. This means that he can eat a lot of food to make bigger blasts, but he won't be as agile as he normally is if he's fatter. He can also take a pretty good beat down and can also eat and spit out energy. The only things Perk Upchuck can't eat are earth food.
Oh, great. I'm a bottomless pit, and I can't digest the good stuff.
Ditto. Honestly, not the greatest alien, but hey, he's better than a human. He can clone himself to no limit, and each clone operates independently, so he can easily multitask. And his clones can be very effective if they work together. If they work together. He's also agile, flexible, can breathe underwater, and can jump really high. Like, he hit a Michael Jordan like a boss. However, the 3 sensor nodes on their stomachs allow each clone to share senses and physical sensations. Meaning, yeah, they all feel the same pain when one of the clones gets hurt. Also, Ben can't transform back to his human form without all Ditto clones merging, which at times can be a problem. A mummy from outer space. Apparently that's a thing. Benmummy is made of bandages and can reshape his body at will. He can generate more bandages if needed, and his body is hollow, which makes him very flexible. He can regenerate himself and extend his bandages from his fingers or body. He's strong to some degree, but his speed and agility are much more impressive feats for him, especially considering his size and bandages. Benmummy is immune to the effects of corrodium. Speaking of corrodium, Benmummy can block out corrodium radiation with his bandages and carry it inside his body without irritation. Benmummy, however, is susceptible to strong winds and forces and can be frozen solid by liquid nitrogen. Imagine if Frankenstein's monster could think intelligently and control electricity. Behold, Frankenstein. Well, he was originally called Benvicktor, but Ben renamed him 6 years later because the name was kinda lame. He's got an electromagnetic body with 2 conductor coils on his back that allow him to generate and manipulate lightning and electromagnetism. He can emit powerful lightning bolts and magnetism from his hands and feet. With his enhanced strength, he can pack a punch, but his lightning can also enhance the punches to make a bigger blow. He also has enhanced durability, jumping, reflexes, and dexterity. He's immune to corrodium, which is a good thing, because if this is what happens to humans exposed to corrodium, I don't want to know what this guy would look like if he could get mutated by corrodium. He can also survive the vacuum of space, which was helpful in the one episode of the original series that he was in. He can use his conductor coils to control machines and electricity. Now, even though Benvicktor can control electricity, he can still get hurt if attacked with it. Overall, he's a pretty well-rounded alien. Benwolf. He has a powerful ultrasonic howl that he can emit by opening his quadra-hinged muzzle. This can damage targets, reflect incoming projectiles, or even propel himself like a rocket booster. He's also got enhanced smelling and hearing, so he can track pretty well. He's strong enough to carry people without difficulty. He even has night vision, and just like Benmummy and Benvicktor, Benwolf is immune to corrodium's effects. Stink Arms. He has enhanced strength and durability, but isn't as strong as Forearms since Stinkfly isn't super strong. He has Stinkfly's sharp tail and goo shooting eyes as well, so he can attack with his tail and shoot Stinkfly's goo. He might even be able to shoot the goo from his mouth, but we don't know because we've never seen him do this. Oh, and he's got Stinkfly's wings too, so he has limited flight and has Forearms enhanced jumping. Diamond Matter has Diamondhead's ability to alter the shape of his limbs, but he's not as strong as Diamondhead since he's the size of Grey Matter. However, his increased intelligence helps him use his diamond shards with excellent precision. Some things just don't mix. What happens when you put a fish in fire? You get Heat Jaws. Heat Jaws' Rip Jaws half needs to stay out of the heat or he'll dehydrate, but his Heatblast half constantly generates heat. However, he still does have some advantages. He only needs water when using his fire powers, and going underwater won't put out his flames, it strengthens them. But underwater, he shoots a high-pressure steam of scalding water rather than fire, since fire gets put out in water. Because of his Ripjaw side, Heatjaws can also swim underwater, and he has the strength and durability of both aliens. He also still has his razor-sharp teeth and jaws that can rip through steel, so that's a plus. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, rate, and share, and click on the links in my end screens to watch more videos. God bless.